Welcome to the Dijiti podcast, season 1, episode 4. This is a podcast where we talk about all things digital law. In season 1, we have been focusing on court cases that shape our digital future. My name is Maria Mbeneka.
And I am Masi Mutemi. Thank you for choosing our podcast. I'm very excited to be covering today's case. I'm so excited I'll just jump right in and we don't even have time for preliminaries. So, this case, Maria, involves Wangeshi, an amazing Kenya rapper, singer and songwriter. Have you heard her music?
Say a bit more. Of course I've heard her music. Sorry Wangeshi, you're just late.
In 2016, I don't know if you remember this, Maria, there was a social media campaign by Techno, the mobile phone company, not the artist. Techno, Techno. Anyway.
That's what I say.
No, not the artist. So the campaign was C9, C Kenya. Yep. I think they were launching a Techno 9 or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that one very well. Has it been 4 years already?
Can you believe that? Like, this time goes by so fast. When I was young, someone used to tell me if someone cuts the tail of a lizard, days go by so fast. So could it be possible that people cut too many lizard tails?
I think so.
Anyway, so of course, when you're running a campaign, you want it to go viral. Mm-hmm. So you use all the tools that you have at disposal. Techno used a photo of Wangeshi because he's famous. She has that like really cool vibe going on about her.
That's true.
Yeah, in one of the promotional material posted on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even YouTube ads, so they used a photo that she thinks had been taken of her at a blankets and wine function without her knowledge.
Please don't tell me they didn't seek her consent.
Of course they did.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, of course. If you're talking about it, there was the word consent there in the negative. And most importantly, leave alone the consent, they didn't pay her for this use. And you know, she's an artist. I mean, the girl feeds on her image.
That's her bread and butter.
Yeah, you need to pay her. Anyway, so Wangeshi went ahead and did what I wish more creatives would do. She decided to stand up for herself and sue them.
Nice.
Good for her.
Go, girl.
I mean, this is amazing. This is the agitation we need to see. We have to see it. People disrespect creatives in this country too much. Yeah? And it has to change. But for it to change, the creatives have to stand up and speak up against it. There's no other way. Yeah.
So now, Techno, in their defense, they said that Wangeshi, the artist, whose pictures they've used all over on several social media platforms, was only a small portion of the video. No one would assume that she was endorsing. I mean, who would think, even if she was there for a micro millisecond, it wasn't about her. So Techno basically threw another curveball. They say Rogers Ouma, aka Ojuok Photography, is part of this story. And how is he part of this story? He's the one who took the photo in question. If there's anyone who should be sued,
who would be suing?
Or if there's anyone who should be suing Techno, it should be him and not Wangeshi.
By the way, this tussle between copyright and personality rights, it keeps coming up. It's like, on one hand you have copyright and all the related rights under it, and then there's personality rights. Now, I think by the end of this podcast, it will become clear which one goes where.
So if between you remember, copyright?
There's copyright and there's personality rights.
Okay.
In this case, by the way, it's addressed. The issue is addressed. It was only a matter of time a case like this came to the courts, because there's always that tussle between you taking a photo of me and me being the person in the photo. Who has what rights?
Who owns the rights to that image?
There's that, and then who owns the rights in the photo? You know, there's the person inside the photo.
Yes.
It takes me back to Octopizzo. Remember that time Octopizzo demanded that, hey, photographers, you ask for his permission.
Octopizzo is the musician.
Yeah. Before taking photos of him.
Yes.
And there was a whole, uproar about it, like, so much. But I do see see Octopizzo's point of view. On one hand, you have the model with all the personality rights bestowed on them by the Constitution. By the way, for those who don't know, Article 31, the right to privacy, that's where you find
in the Constitution.
That is where you find personality rights.
Yes.
So that the model is the person in the photo.
Yes.
Has the personality rights. On the other hand, you have the photographer who is the author of the image, who automatically they take the picture, they own the copyright to the image. Automatically.
Yes.
So there's no surprise here. The judge finds Wangeshi didn't own the copyright to the photo, despite it being a photo of herself. Might be confusing, but it's true. And
so say that again.
The judge says, while Wangeshi, this photo is a photo of you.
Yes.
And yes, we agree it was taken without your permission.
Yes.
Still, you don't own the copyright to this photo.
Wow.
Because you're not the one who took the photo.
Yes.
It's the photographer who has the copyright to the photo. Yes, it's a confusing conundrum, but it is what it is.
So, but the fact is that Wangeshi, from the word go, had been very, very, very vocal about this violation from Techno. She spoke about it on social media. I remember there was even a hashtag that was trending, and many people called out Techno for this. So it seems Techno was not happy about this. They countersued Wangeshi for this. Get this. Defamation. Yani, when it rains, it pours. Needless to say, the claim for defamation fell flat on its face.
Of course, it was true. They had
As you
used
shake
her
your
photo
head.
without. I mean, come on. I'm literally shaking my head right now, but you can't see it, but I am. Anyway, so this case is the gift that keeps giving. It had so many things, like it had so many digital rights packed into it. Now, for the first time, the judge gives us a quotable quote for the foreseeable future. He says, a tag does not amount to consent. Now, this is what Techno was trying to say. The moment they released the video, they tagged Wangeshi. Now, when Wangeshi saw she had been tagged, she should have treated it as an invitation to treat, or it's like we are interested in entering into an endorsement arrangement. So instead of suing them, she should have approached them on wenye wanaweza kubaliana.
Okay.
Do you believe that argument?
I mean, hapa, the big win here, all factors considered, is that once again the judge confirms the right to privacy on two ends.
Yes.
One, the photographer or joke didn't have her consent to take her photo. So that's the first violation. Number two, Techno didn't have her consent to use her picture in the campaign. Violation number two.
Yeah.
So for violating her rights, both Techno and Ojok have to pay Wangeshi. Guess what? This will disappoint you a little.
It's not
It's not the J&S.
amounts for J&S.
It's not the J&S. Imagine both Techno and Ojok have to pay her 500,000 shillings.
And this is jointly, which means they can go half and half.
Half and half, yeah. And then costs of the case.
This is the one part I don't agree with in this case. Look, in the previous episode, we see awards as high as 4.4 million for similar rights, which are reputation. And now, all of a sudden, we are coming down to 500,000. A part of me wonders, could it be the old guard still refusing to accept the creative industry as a legitimate career choice? Like, because J&S were lawyers, this is an artist, a rapper, songwriter. Could that inform the way the awards were given? And again, creatives harvest from their image. I would think that that is worth much more than anybody else out there. Yeah? J&S were lawyers, I agree, it's fine. In another personality case that is comparable, you can look it up, it's Joel Mutuma versus NHIF.
Yes, I remember that case.
Which is quite similar to Wangeshi's case because it was him suing NHIF. It was actually the same thing. They used a photo of him in an advert to get his permission.
Yes.
The award was
NHIF.
The award was 5 million shillings.
Really?
Plus costs. And I mean, NHIF, yeah, they have a lot of money, I agree, but Techno also is a business.
a very, very successful one.
A very successful business.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why in one case it's going up to 5 million and here we are doing 500,000.
I think it's about time our courts became a bit more predictable, in the sense that if we're awarding damages, especially for personality rights or for privacy, let them be more or less the same, or within the same range, because like you rightly pointed out, how do you rationalize JNS getting 4.4 million each, as opposed to, in this techno case, 500,000 shillings, and there are two defendants.
Yes.
So really, I think that's really unfair.
Anything, which one do you think went viral more? The standard video about infidelity?
I think the techno one.
I think the techno one.
Because she was even trending.
Yes, she
and
was
on
trending.
multiple. You see, this one was on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah.
All those impressions. But also, it could be a case of how well did they articulate the case.
Yeah.
You know, your pleadings, your case is only as good as your pleadings.
Yeah.
So perhaps, this is an opportunity for practitioners in this area to actually take these matters, entertainment law, much more seriously, and build jurisprudence around it. Because we are seeing here very brave judges who are actually coming out to declare these rights and to set precedent.
Yeah.
But we need more in terms of understanding the entertainment industry. Where is the revenue stream likely to come in from? What is revenue in this case?
Yeah.
And what are the damages in terms of the exposure? And what does it mean for, like, does she have a right to be forgotten, for example? So what happens 10 years from now? Is there an order for techno to cease and desist, or for Ojok to cease
so
and
many
desist?
things they could have pursued.
There's so many angles, and for them not to say in future that I didn't use the photo, it was somebody else.
I really think my advice to creatives would be this. The other day, a lot of idlers on Twitter were getting shocked at Aziad's rate card, but I think that's the way to go. Like, know your value, and then value your image, value the impressions you bring to the table.
Yes.
So that in a case like this,
Yes.
I don't know how much they'd ask the judge for, but they should have asked for 20 million. You see, the thing with litigation is you have to back it up.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're going to say 20 million in damages, you need to show why it's 20 million in damages.
Yeah.
You can even say, I lost another contract because of this, and then show how much that contract would have been worth.
Yeah.
Or, I spent 3 days of my time trying to defend this thing. Do you know how much I charge per hour? I charge this amount of money per hour, so you need to pay me back for those. You know, there's so many ways to value yourself as a person. You don't need to follow the old brick and mortar way of valuing things. So I think here the call to creatives is know how to value yourself. Always have a rate card ready in terms of impressions, in terms of your time, so that when it comes to a case like this, you're not asking for people money. Because as you can see, the judges are not shy in awarding damages. I mean, they're willing to go to go really extra with their words.
And all they need is actually to just be provided.
Exactly, with all the evidence needed. Because if she had said, for example, 20 million and proven it, Techno would not have been able to run away from that 20 million.
Yeah.
Because the judge would have been, so you made money out of this thing, should have paid her. How much would have an endorsement deal have cost? If, that's what I'm thinking about in terms of, anyway.
Yeah.
So I do have to say congratulations to Angeshi though, and thank you for taking this to court. There are so many aggrieved creatives, whether it's copyright or personality rights. And Mimi, my advice to you is ukikaliwa, usikadilike.
Fight back.
Yeah.
That's a really good lesson.
Yeah.
So once again, this is the Dijiti podcast, and we are here to basically take your views, your questions, your feedback. Please hit us up on our IG page, on our Facebook page, on our Twitter page, and we'll get back to you with our answers. We'd like to have interactive sessions. Let us know what you think of our podcast. And from Mercy and I,
Tiwainesa.
Background music, mood shifting, done by Nalokanga. Please check out more of our projects on the podcast description linked below.